Yo, you know what it is? It's your boy THEKIDMERO, the humans don't rap clap because I keep it waving. I'm over here with my man U-Goboy, the illest in the game, you heard?
It's your boy, U-Goboy. That's Mongo, all right? This is the U-Goboy podcast channel. But before we start, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We got unfiltered, authentic conversations. We got sports talk. We got drops. Oh, yeah. So, Mongo, what should they do?
Like and subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Yahtzee. He's not just my defensive back number one or safety number one. He's my player one because when you get a Caleb Downs, you don't just get a safety. You get a safety, you get a free safety, you get a strong safety, you get a middle linebacker, a strong side linebacker, and a weak side linebacker, and an occasional blitzer. You know, he is the most complete defensive back that I've seen in quite some time.
You go, boy.
Yo, yo, yo. Do not adjust your TV sets. Stellar 19 holding down your boys yet again. You see this beard? You see that beard? The final pre-draft super show. Mongo, a lot to talk about. Are you ready?
So ready.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Episode 70. Who knows? Of the U-Goboy podcast. Sports talk, baby. Let's get it. Yahtzee. Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag. I need more. Hey, 3P Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam. Mongo. It's almost time. It's almost time. The draft season. We are in full tilt. We got mocks from SCHRAGER, of course, Peter SCHRAGER, shout out to Peter SCHRAGER. That's the basis of this show. Mel Kiper's got his. Todd McShay's got his. Stephen A. Smith, I think he's got I'm not gonna watch it, but you know, I mean, like so much going on in draft season world. First and foremost, how are you doing, dog?
It's the most wonderful time of the year. How could I be anything other than great? How about you, man? How you doing?
I'm living the dream, man. You know, Harlem Wisdom Tour. Nice. Goodness gracious. We're going strong. I'll be in Massachusetts this weekend. That's loving that, loving life. No. But, you know, balls to the walls. It's time. It's draft season. And we got the super show with Kilroy. He'll be back for that. Woo. But we got to lock in to set it up with the pre-super show, as we always do, our yearly, annual, like you say, wonderful time of year. So we're going to talk about Peter SCHRAGER's mock that dropped a few days ago. We're going to have it up too so you guys can see. Thank you, Peter. He's former NFL Network, now with ESPN. He's following the footsteps of Adam Schefter. You love to see that. But we're going to dive into his mock and then we'll toss around a couple, of course, Cowboys talk and Jet talk as always. But let's go with these first 5 picks, all right? Because you got in front of you, and it'll be on the screen as well and the graphics. So we got Mendoza to the Raiders. We got your beloved Jets. They take David Bailey from Texas Tech. Arvell Reese goes to the Cardinals. Jeremiah Love goes to the Titans. And Francis Mauga, I butchered that, but so be it, from University of Miami. He goes to the G-Men because, you know, they're still working on their offensive line. Let's just start with these first 5. Sure. How do you feel about these first 5 picks? Obviously, Mendoza, we've been saying that since forever. That's pretty much a lot.
Lock
right?
it in.
But really, the draft starts from 2.
It shouldn't, but it does. I'll talk about that in a minute.
With your Jets, Jets. It starts at 2. You guys take Bailey. Is that what you want? Is this what you want? Or would you prefer something different? How do you feel about the picks 2 through 5, starting with your Jets?
So the thing about this pick is you gotta, in a vacuum, if we were just big boarding this thing, if we were in an IDP fantasy league, I'm actually in on this. I'm okay with this order here. But for the Jets specifically, Bailey is not the right pick. This has to be Arvell Reese. And the thing about, I've talked about this before, so I won't go too far into it, but why I'm so against drafting a quarterback, and we'll talk about that when we get to 16, is this year, there is already someone in this locker room who is the most scrutinized person, and it's Aaron Glenn. I've talked about this before. This is Aaron Glenn's year. I cannot stress that enough.
Has to be. With all those picks? Has to be.
With all these picks, but also, I said it during the free agency show, right? I was obviously on the Anzalone train, and you guys thought I was nuts. But you see Onyemata come in, right? You see DeMario Davis, these guys who come in with existing relationships, supporting Aaron Glenn, right? That first sign that he actually can build something here. And so when you look at this team, one of my favorite names that keeps coming up to the Jets at 33 that I keep laughing at, the safety from Toledo. Right? And cornerback, also a popular choice at 33. But here's the thing. When you start looking at this team, like I'll just do cornerback real quick. We do this with the whole team.
Emmanuel Warren, I believe.
Emmanuel Warren,
from Toledo,
right.
yeah.
But when you look at like corner, for example, Stevens, signed by Glenn, right? Thomas, drafted by Glenn. Wright, signed by Glenn in the second, free agency, right? And so all of these guys are Aaron Glenn guys. When you look at who on this team, it's incredible how much they've overturned in just a year and a half, to be quite honest. Yeah. Who on this team is owed nothing from Aaron Glenn and his regime? It's Jamie and Sherwood. He's the guy who's been here since 2021. They gave him that monster contract right at the start of Glenn's first free agency. He didn't earn it at all. Like, good locker room guy, was a team captain last year, but you know what? So was Justin Fields. So was Quinnen Williams. So was AVT. It doesn't mean anything now, right? And so Arvell Reese can come in. He played 40% of his snaps last year as an inside guy, so he can take some of those snaps away from Sherwood, get him on the bench, because quite frankly, the only reason he wasn't part of the overhaul last year, his contract is an absolute albatross until 2027. We're stuck with him. Right. So 40% of the time you can get him out of there. And in the meantime, if you look at Joseph Osai, who's currently slated to be the outside guy, his last 2 years, I know you love your stats here, 2 years ago, he starts 3 games and has 42 tackles and 5 sacks. Last year, he starts 9 games, only 47 tackles and 5 sacks. He's the same dude. His motor is always running hot. He doesn't need to be out there 3 downs every time. So you can move Reese outside, give Osai some rest. You can have him inside, get Sherwood the heck off the field. Bailey can't do that. All Bailey does is just relegate Osai to the bench. And okay, it's an upgrade. I'm not denying that. Please do not come at me in the comments. Are you saying Joseph Osai is better than David Bailey? I'm not. I'm even saying David Bailey on a lot of franchises is better than Arvell Reese. But either way, you're getting a guy who can get to the quarterback for a team that finished 31st in the league last year in sacks. Both of these guys solve a major problem. But Reese has a chance to complete this defense. Bailey only has a chance to upgrade this defense. That's a major, major difference for a coach whose job is on the line. You need to go Reese at 2 here.
Like the video. Pre-draft Super Show. I mean, the best pass rusher in this draft, I don't think it's David Bailey. I don't. I don't. I believe it. I think it's 1 and 2. I believe Ruben Bain, in my opinion, is the best pure pass rusher. And he's being crucified because of short arms. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everything I've seen, shout out to Crown Global Media, of course, with Brian Broaddus and Voch Lombardi and, all the insiders and all the draft wizards out there. You know what I mean? It's like short arms. He doesn't fit the prototype. But all I see on tape is a guy that just gets after the quarterback. Right. And it doesn't matter who he's playing. It doesn't matter if it's the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, SEC. It doesn't matter. This guy just gets to the quarterback, and he's not in the top 5. He doesn't show up until the 8th pick with the Saints, and that's a very Saints-like pick right there. Of course, with them rolling the dice with wild cards for sure. So Bailey at 2, I'm not shocked that he goes to you guys. I honestly had him going the very next pick to the Cardinals. Although I've heard Cardinals, they need offensive line. I mean, they need a lot of things, including quarterback. Because you mean to tell me Jacoby Brissett is the answer? It's a different test. That's just what it is. But Bailey goes 2 to you guys. My question is with Jeremiah Love going this high, because is he the second coming of Marshall Faulk? Okay, that's all I've been hearing. The G word is not really synonymous with too many people. There's only like 10 or 11 first round draft grades for most of the people that I follow on the interwebs and the metaverse. But Jeremiah Love, obviously the only first round running back that anybody is talking about. For him to go number 4 to the Titans, is that the move? Is that the move? Because the Titans, they're in a precarious position. Either they're going to trade down or they're going to stick and pick, and Love becomes the face of the organization to go with Cam Ward. Is this their Kobe and Shaq? Is Cam Ward going to be their Kobe, and is Jeremiah Love going to be their Shaq? Is that what's going on in Tennessee, which has him slated to go at number 4?
Here's my thing about Jeremiah Love, and listen, Peter Schrager, I think this is my favorite mock I've seen. I'll
Agreed.
say that flat out.
Shout out to Peter Schrager. This is a really good mock.
I've seen some very creative options for Arizona and Tennessee. I love one of my favorite ones is Arizona trades back in at the end of the first round to get Ty Simpson. That's one of my favorite ones out there. But about 2 months ago, Jeremiah Love was going, where was it? 9 to Kansas City was about where we saw his ceiling. And somebody out there had this bright idea. Well, if he can go 9 to Kansas City, wouldn't he upgrade the Saints at 8? I mean, yes, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
But they did sign ETN in free agency. So,
but Love would still,
that's
contribute.
a 1-2 punch. True.
So would he then make the Commanders better at 7? Yes, he would.
Yeah.
Would he make the Browns better at 6? I mean, they just got a guy, right? They got Judkins, but no reason you couldn't even dream that dream. The point is when you start to do this fallacy of he's going to be an immediate contributor, when you start to compare him to like Zeke's presence when he came in and other guys who came in the top 10, you can just keep doing this.
Agreed.
There's no reason to stop, and we get so hyped up about this.
Yeah.
Do I think he's going at 4? I don't.
I don't either.
I think one of the best word I saw to describe Robert Saleh is he's at his best. I love this word. They use the word waves of defensive linemen, and I think that's a perfect word to describe Saleh's strategy. He's going to try and just overwhelm you. So it doesn't matter. I talked about the Jets. Reese having that one specific spot left on the depth chart. There is no end to a Robert Saleh depth chart. He would have 25 defensive linemen on there if he could. Yeah. And with guys like Bain, with guys like Styles, with so much talent on the interior of the defensive, 7 at the top of this draft, I don't think Robert Saleh is going to be able to resist in his first draft. He's doing something in the interior of that defense.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I mean, to go off of that point, I mean, what's the best friend of a quarterback? Not just, and especially a young quarterback, aside from obviously an offensive line and a competent play caller and offensive coordinator, is a running back.
Right.
I mean, Dak 2016, yeah, but Dak with Zeke 2016. Now you're cooking.
Right, of course.
So Jackson Dart, you think he'd love that? You think Jaden Daniels would enjoy him?
Of course.
You think we could just keep going? You think Tyler Shuck, our main guy?
I was going to say, we both froze on who quarterbacks the Saints for a minute. You can be honest. We both had to think about that.
I knew it was a Tyler. It's like the most popular name in the English dictionary right now. But again, Cam Ward, he gets he's the winning lottery ticket. He's the Charlie and the golden ticket winner here with him going to the Titans. So, I mean, I think the G word, generational, is not synonymous, I believe, with Love. I think Love is really, really good. I think with the right OC, he can have a Saquon Barkley effect. He can have a young Zeke effect. Absolutely, for sure. But I don't see Marshall Faulk on tape, which a lot of people have propped him up to be, and I think it's because of fatigue, because there's not a lot of first-round running backs, if any.
Right. I mean, the demand here, same way we're going to get to Caleb Downs soon enough, same thing comes in. He's light years ahead of second on the depth chart. But the other thing with Jeremiah Love here is, you go back to Saquon Barkley, right? He was criticized as much for a running back going second as he was the Giants couldn't afford that luxury. The question becomes, who on this list will not immediately be lambasted because there are other needs to be filled? And I think in that case, you really start getting back, I think you can maybe make that argument with the Giants here, but for every argument you can make about them having a depth elsewhere, they also have Scattaboo. Like they also have, I mean, I know he's coming off injury, but he definitely wasn't a guy who you looked at and said, man, we need to pair him with a running back who some people are calling generational, right? Like that wasn't the need coming out of this, right?
No.
So again, I think the floor for him becomes the Chiefs, right? I think Mahomes and Love is enough that you can overlook some of their shortcomings.
Yeah, but they did just sign Walker.
They did.
So
they did. But look at where every running back went last year, right? I mean, the Browns literally doubled up on 2 of the top 6.
Agreed.
Hampton went with Najee Harris, right?
Agreed.
I mean, we're in that. And RJ Harvey still can't break free of freaking J.K. Dobbins in Denver. He just rots on my dynasty bench, causing me nightmares every night. They're no longer afraid to let these running backs come in, in a committee early on, especially with how short their lives, normally are. I mean, Barkley is the 100% anomaly in that sense that he came in as a day one bell cow running behind, 5 revolving doors and somehow is legally still alive.
Yes.
I mean, so credit to him in that sense. But if you're a team that is bad and you are taking this guy behind a bad offensive line, it's not the worst idea to only be giving him 15 carries a night early on.
Agreed. Insert Las Vegas Raiders with Genty. You know what I mean? Who would love for them to take Mendoza and is loving the fact that they at least sign a center to at least begin the process of giving him something to run into, because Genty was running in front of this.
Right. Effectively, yeah.
Right into that last year, you know, and you hope that wouldn't be the case for Love if he does go to Tennessee. But we'll keep going. Let's go. Let's move on down from 6 to 12. Let's go. Let's keep the ball moving. So there's been buzz that the Browns don't want to be picking at 6. They want to get out of there. They want to parachute out of there, and rightfully so. I mean, I believe that the Browns.
This causes me pain, but go on.
I believe that the Browns, they kind of see the writing on the wall that an actual rebuild. They took a step forward last year. I
love Junkins.
And we praised them. We praised them for their draft last year.
I love Fannin. Fannin's my boy.
Yes. And I love Schlesinger. I love Junkins. I love a lot of their Mason Graham.
Great draft.
They've got the pieces and the building blocks pieces necessary to be talking wild card if Shador is the Shador that his dad and the black community want him to be. You know what I mean? But it's just like, if that's the case, however, moving back and getting more capital, considering that they have the 24th as well that they got from Jacksonville, I think moving back is the move for them. But if they do stick and pick, I'm not shocked that they take Fano here. I've also seen that they're going to take Monroe Freeling. He's been linked to them as well, although he goes to your favorite team, the Carolina Panthers, later on. But again, it's like, I'm not shocked that they take an offensive lineman here. I think offensive line is what they want to do.
Oh, yeah,
but it just makes sense since this is a top heavy draft. Considering, think about it, it's the Big Six. Shout out to Vach Lombardi, love you, dog. We need to work together. Me and Law Nation, we have, but Vach, me and you, we got to get together too. You got your Big Six. Your Big Six is Downs, Styles, Delane, Ruben Bain. Who else? Reese and Bailey. That's your Big Six. Those are your absolute lock, stock, barrel first round picks. Everybody out of that is a borderline first round pick to second round pick. 5 to 6 more first round picks, and then the rest are just second round picks, or even in this mock or whatever. Anybody you don't get out of that, I didn't mention offensive lineman.
Right.
I didn't really mention a pass rusher outside of whatever the hell Reese is considered, you know, and Bain and Bailey. So it's like, and again, the fact that this isn't a quarterback heavy draft, there are no quarterbacks pushing these guys down. There isn't. So you take an offensive lineman early in this draft, it's question marks. It just is.
And so here's my only thing though. So first of all, just to quickly, talk about what you said there about moving down, the Cleveland just has to sit there and just bite their nails and pray to whatever Cleveland, LeBron, Jesus they pray to or whatever it is, because if Jeremiah Love is still on the board at 6, you swan dive, down the board to wherever you have to go. Whoever is giving you the best offer to come up and take Jeremiah Love, you get out of there. Because you're absolutely right. There's only a few guys who someone is going to come absolutely up for at that point. And just to drive your point home, why this mock here is so good for the Jets, and I think good for Dallas too, but really good for the Jets, you have 8 out of 32 tackles in this mock draft. I mean, if you don't need a tackle, this is your dream. This is your dream scenario. 25th best non-tackle will be on the board for the Jets at 33. I can live with that. I can take that.
Agreed.
But the one guy who stands out to me, and that's why I think SCHRAGER has this so right here, I've seen Spencer Fano be the second off. I've seen him be the first off. I've seen him be the 7th off the board amongst these offensive tackles. But Fano to me, and this is hyperbolic, I get it, but it would be like flashback 30 years and somebody says, you know what, Kevin Garnett can guard the 2 through the 5. On offense, he can play the 1 through the 5. But you know what? He's not a true power forward. He's got just a little too much center in him. We're not going to draft him.
Position flex.
Right. Could you imagine somebody saying that about Kevin Garnett? And I'm not saying Spencer Fano is the Kevin Garnett of offensive linemen by any means, but they're punishing him because, okay, he's not the purest left tackle we've ever seen, but the dude can play all 5 positions. He was taking snaps at center a month ago.
Agreed.
Like, the dude can do anything at a really good level and play 3 of those 5 positions at pretty much an elite level, but we're punishing him because he's not the purest left tackle you've ever seen. Considering the team lost 3 of its 5 offensive linemen, I think that's a dream position to be in. So if I am Cleveland, if Jeremiah Love's not there, I actually really like this pick. I'm staying with Fano, but he's another guy who fit makes him lose and gain value throughout the night. Like, to me, like I said before, right, Arvell Reese is going to be at his peak value at 2 in this draft, where he's such a perfect fit with the Jets. Fano to the Browns here is a gorgeous, gorgeous fit. Great find here again by Peter Schrager. And if he drops past 6, I could see a few of these offensive tackles then jumping in front of him.
Oh, I agree. Like the video. Mayoga, my main man who went to the Giants, Francis from the
Frankie M.
Frankie M. and Fano. Those are my top 2 on the offensive line. I'll add Shelton in there from Penn State too. We are absolutely like outside of that. Lot of question marks, especially at the offensive line position. Just a lot.
I saw Monroe Freeling at 3, one mock draft,
nonsense.
and I said, "What?
Savage.
Are we just pulling out of a hat at this point?"
Foolishness, man. No, Mims a couple years ago, who I think went to the, I think he's with the Bengals. He kind of ruined it for me with Georgia offensive lineman. He just did. It just did. Like, okay, I get it. You're 18 years old, and your ceiling is freaking Larry Allen or whatever. But it's like, come on, man. Like the tape doesn't lie.
Listen, as somebody who watches the Jets draft a quarterback out of either USC or Alabama every 3 years, I get the college fear. I totally get that.
Oh, totally. But no, I mean, we continue to move through these. You know, I absolutely see Kansas City taking Tyson. They need, like, Patty Mahomes needs some weapons.
Yeah.
He just do. And yes, Xavier Worthy is on the roster. Yes, Rashee Rice is still on the roster. He's not in jail. Like, he's still there too. You know what I mean? But Hopkins is not there.
No.
You know what I mean? And Kelsey is our age. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, at what point is this front office going to be like, listen, we are going to and I get it. Worthy was a first-round pick. Rice was, I believe, was he a first-round or was he like a second-round pick?
I want to say second, but we could be wrong on that. We'll look that up in post.
He was a top 100 pick.
They spent capital on it.
Yes. Top 100 picks at the position is what ideally is what you want or what not. But you haven't really been hitting. Like, Worthy is more of a gadget guy. You know, I'm sorry. And Rice, he's shown flashes, but again, he's got off the field nonsense. And on the field, he hasn't really taken that step to be like, yo, he's one of them ones or whatnot. Tyson is, he could be coming out of Arizona State. I've seen some of his tape too. I've seen flashes, this, that, and third. But again, health. Like, you want a guy, you get hurt in college, you're going to get hurt in the pros or whatnot. But I can easily see them taking not just Tyson to help Mahomes, but they need to take a corner.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, McDuffie is in L.A., Watson, I believe, he left in free agency as well too. Who's back there playing? Is it Honey Badger? Is he still on the roster? Like the Chiefs absolutely need to Schneed. He's you know what I mean, he's a free agent or whatnot. He just got cut. Like, they don't got anybody back there or whatnot. I'm surprised a little surprised that Schrager didn't mock Delane here. Like, this would be prime for Delane. I could see Delane being here at 9 and the Bengals picking the next best defensive player or whatnot. But Tyson going here makes sense, but it kind of makes more sense that they take that the Chiefs take a corner here, and the same with the Dolphins there. But then again, their number 1 receiver is Jalen Tolbert right now. So that makes sense.
I think a couple things go on here. I think Schrager is slightly hedging his bets. The Chiefs slightly. The Dolphins definitely would have merit to move down. And, you know, you're thinking, okay, if someone moves up there, they're moving up to get those receivers. You don't want your board to get totally broken. I understand that. The other thing is, you got to imagine Kansas City's first 2 picks are going to be wide receiver and corner.
Yeah.
But the two arguments, right? The 2 arguments here, I think, and again, I'm Peter Schrager, please feel free to reach out. Let me know how wrong I am on trying to blindly read the mind of a man I've never met. But in this particular mock, and so if you're an NFL team starting to get the pulse of the other 31 teams, all what I consider the big 6 wide receivers in this draft are gone in Schrager's first round. There isn't that wide receiver, whereas we still have some talent at corner sitting in the second round. But then the other thing, when we see how badly they just misuse isn't even the right word. They just gave no effort into trying to use Jalen Royals last year, their fourth rounder. Yeah. It seems like Andy Reid has reached the age where he just doesn't care about developing. Agreed. Like if you want to be like Andy Reid, this is our new shiny toy, it better be something you can plug in day one. And a first round top 10 wide receiver, I think kind of naturally carries more clout than, this is a guy we took mid-late second round from, Ball State University. Good luck, Andy Reid. Like Andy Reid just did. I mean, where was Royals from? South Utah, I think, or something like that.
Something
like
obscure like that.
They wanted no part. Like it was he just didn't fit in. They just didn't do anything with him. So trying to stretch value out of wide receiver doesn't seem to be what Kansas City's up for. So give him one of the blue chip prospects, get him in there day one, and then you can build around the defense day two, especially in this version where most of the guys I've seen in round ones who fall out here are defensive guys.
Yeah. I mean, like the video. Stellar 19 Studios. We love you guys. Chop City on the boards. I mean, once again with Miami, they're an expansion team right now. I mean, Miami.
There is no wrong.
Literally, honestly. Again, Jalen Tolbert's your number one receiver. Like like they're taking Tate or they're taking Tyson. It's just a matter of what wide receiver they're taking, but that needs to happen. Delane going to the Bengals again. The Bengals need to have the same exact blueprint as us, who we're about to get into now, Dallas, America's team.
Yeah, like
just defense. You've got two high-end wide receivers, arguably the best in the game, and one of them, Joe Burrow at quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, why in the world are we having the same exact argument every single year? Well, when the Bengals going to really invest on defense? When the Bengals going to invest on defense? Burrow's putting up 35 a game, but they're giving up 40 a game. You know what I mean? So I think Delane helps with that. He's my favorite. He's my cornerback one. Mm-hmm. He is, and we'll get to McCoy because he's a little bit later or whatnot. Health aside, a lot of question marks around him, especially the fact that he has no tape on him since he didn't play last year.
Right.
But I love this pick for the Bengals. Mm-hmm. I do. I mean,
sure.
He's my favorite corner. Let's get to America's team, and then we'll fast forward a bit. Let's go 12 to 20 because that covers both of our picks since we picked twice. And you guys pick again, I believe. Y'all picking.
We have 33,
yes,
so I can end this with, if this was the draft, what are we doing
Lovely.
At the end of this?
And again, you guys pick again too because you have your second. You got 16.
Right.
You know what I mean? So. The fact that Downs falls to Dallas is a dream.
Nice.
It's a dream. Me and Chop City were talking about that in the pre-pod. This is my player one. He's not just my defensive back number one or safety number one. He's my player one because when you get a Caleb Downs, you don't just get a safety. You get a safety, you get a free safety, you get a strong safety, you get a middle linebacker, a strong side linebacker, and a weak side linebacker, and an occasional blitzer. He is the most complete defensive back that I've seen in quite some time. And
Yahtzee.
I get it. Reese, it's a little bit higher. Some could make the argument that he was kind of the engine that made the Ohio State defense go, especially in their national championship season. And last year, them being one and done in the playoffs was hilarious as a Penn State fan. But as I digress. But again, it's like Downs here changes your secondary overnight. It does. Like we talked about, they had the fourth worst DVOA-based defense in NFL history or whatnot. Downs is better than Malik Hooker. Downs is better than J-Ron Curse, who's retired. Downs is better than Keith Murray, the rapper. Kyler Murray or Kenneth Murray, whatever Murray he would have back there. Downs is better than whatever the hell that you had on defense last year. He changes life overnight for Dallas. And Christian Parker is hitting backflips if he is on the board. And again, you don't have to trade because a trade that has been floated is Dallas moving up with Cleveland, them parachuting out that pick. Dallas moves up to 6 to get one of the big 6 that we talked about earlier.
Right.
And they move down from 20 to 39. So they'll be picking at the top of the second, and they move up to get their pick of possibly Bain, possibly Styles, possibly Downs. Here, you didn't have to do a damn thing, and Downs fell right to you, and your secondary is really, really good overnight or whatnot. I love that for us. And this happens. We'll probably be watching the draft together, eating pizza and drinking brews. But Downs is there for Dallas, and we take him. I'm calling you immediately. I'm just like, yeah, Mongo, we're going back to the playoffs.
I don't disbelieve that. And honestly, obviously you got the fun of Ohio State losing in the playoffs, but they still got to the playoffs, and they were still a legitimate contender with those three guys there with Reese Styles and Downs. Meanwhile, I've been saying for a while now, we see like 8 Clemson defenders going in like the top 100 in this year's draft. They stunk. That has to count for something. Like, why are we believing in all these Clemson guys? They couldn't play together. They couldn't do anything.
Let me jump in here. They were in the Pinstripe Bowl.
Shout out.
Yahtzee. I was there. The Bad Boy Pinstripe Bowl. Shout out to my living singles group chat. All of us went there and froze our nuts off at Yankee Stadium and enjoyed that shit show.
Yahtzee. I forgot about that. I'm glad I dug that up, but I forgot about that.
That's a pull right there. But no, I'm with you.
You know these guys can come in with. I mean, we believe them all to be NFL level talent. We believe the NFL players to be NFL level talents. It's a Yogi Bearism right there, right? So we know they can come right in, hold their share, contribute. And again, to me, if I'm the Cowboys, the only way I'm even looking at a trade is if we're down to one last of those guys. So like if Styles is off the board, Bain is off the board, everyone's off the board, and we're at 9. And I'm thinking, do I just get ahead of Cincinnati and make sure on that? Because you have 2 problems there between Kansas City and Dallas, in the sense that Cincinnati is definitely going defense, and then there's no reason for Miami not to just move wherever Miami is house. If I was Miami's GM, I'd be having the time of my life with this draft, because you can't mess up. Everything makes you better. Agreed. Go nuts. So you do have 2 little wild cards there. I'd be keeping an eye on what Kansas City's doing, especially because, like we said, they need the receiver, they need the corner. We know those guys are still going to be on the board, even 12 and beyond. So I'm keeping, if Kansas City's starting to move behind me, maybe I get in there just to not let 3 defensive-minded teams possibly get in front of me. But you're absolutely right. In this scenario, and it comes down to, I don't want to keep going back to Reese, but Reese, Downs and Styles, they all offer more than the other parts of the Big Six in their flexibility. So even though Downs is coming off later than Bain here, he's coming off later than Bailey, he gives you more in terms of that fit, like I talked about with Reese versus Bailey. And I'm with you. This is an absolute, home run. We'll cheers to that when that happens.
For sure. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I mean, I'm only moving up for somebody in the Big Six. It's just that simple. I've heard trade ups and trade downs till the cows come home or whatnot, but I'm not moving up if it's not the Big Six. And in this mock, love you, Peter SCHRAGER. Yeah. You don't have to go anywhere, and one of the Big Six falls right in your lap. You can't beat that. You really can't. And not to mention, you look at Sadiq going to the Ravens. The best tight end in the draft. That guy, I've seen some of his tape. He's freaky. That guy right there is one of those, hybrid new age. He's like a Kyle Pitts, but bigger, right, and more dangerous,
and not Kyle Pitts,
and not Kyle Pitts. Mind you, Pitts had a really good year last year. If he finally put it together with Kirk Cousins, who got paid in Vegas,
who got that bag. Kyle Pitts not paid. Exactly. Kirk Cousins got that bag. Go figure.
I think Pitts is on the tag, but Pitts finally lived up to his hype last year, and everyone was waiting for it or whatnot. But Sadiq, man. He looks like a bigger, scarier, freakier Kyle Pitts. That was my comp for him and whatnot. So him going to the Ravens, Jackson's loving that.
Although this is another one like Jeremiah Love. Do the experiment. Just keep moving him up and say, would he contribute immediately to that team? The answer is yes for most teams. I mean, even with last year's, with Fanning coming in and Warren coming in, even with the tight end, burst of last year's draft, there's still a ton of teams that are starting, the Tyler Conklins of the world. No offense, Tyler Conklin, around the league. And so you can kind of move your way up here and say, would he be better than what the Rams have at tight end? Yes, he would. And you could keep going up the list here. Would he be better than what Miami has? Yeah, absolutely. And you can keep working your way up. So I feel like he's another guy who you said, okay, we have to put him somewhere. They just moved on from Likely, so they have the logical fit, even though they have Andrews. He is getting older. But that would be one where I could see that being a totally wrong pick, but I do think it's the right area for him. At some point, someone's going to go, we just have to do it because he's there.
Right.
So I get the logic behind Schrager, but this is one that I look at and I don't think it's correct. I think the Ravens have way too many needs. We'll check in with Kilroy before the draft, see what he thinks about that.
Yeah.
He's our Ravens correspondent, I guess you could say.
Of course.
But I don't necessarily like the fit. The kid out of Vanderbilt in the second round, I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's Eli Wallachers, Eli Whitney,
Eli
or
Wallachers.
something like that. Eli Manning. I don't. It's Eli something. I'll look it up in a minute while you're talking about the next one.
Eli G. Willikers.
But he seems to me like way more of a tight end 1B. The kind of guy Baltimore is looking for. Monken loves those two tight end sets, and so I think they're going to hold off on. I do think they're going to take a tight end early in this draft, but like day 2 early, where they can pair a guy with Mark Andrews. I don't see the fit here necessarily, but if you hide the team names and say where does Sadiq belong, high teens sure sounds right to me. I mean, you're not wrong about what he looks like. He's a freak.
Yeah. No, like the video, and you got Lemon going to the Rams.
Shout out Joe Beninga.
And it's like, with Lemon, if this is the pick, if the Rams take a wide receiver early, Puka's gone. He just is.
I'm okay with that.
And off the field stuff's going on with him. Injuries have also begun to play into it. And mind you, if Puka hits the free agency market next year, bag,
changes everything.
He's going to get paid by somebody very handsomely. But this makes sense for them. And Lemon looks like a McVay kind of guy. Like McVay would have a lot of fun with him. He kind of reminds me of Amon St. Brown from the
that's from
the
same
Lions.
same home. Same origin story, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
USC guy can do everything inside and outside, a little bit of everything. So, and McCoy finally goes to the Bucks. Now, again, McCoy has been mocked as cornerback 1, and had he actually played last year, not going to hold that against him. A lot of guys do this is from the makers of the COVID year,
right,
where everybody took off, whatnot, Micah Parsons included. A lot of guys didn't play their COVID year or whatnot. But in his situation, he had the ACL injury, but he's 15 months removed from that.
Right.
That's a year and a half. His pro day went well. Some guys are staying away from the hurt guy. And then the hurt guy is a guy coming off of any type of catastrophic injury in college. Mm-hmm. So I see McCoy's a first-round talent. He absolutely is, and the measurables. McCoy and Delane are your top 2 corners. It's not even up for debate or whatnot. Him going to the Bucks helps their secondary. Him going anywhere helps the secondary or whatnot. But again, he's being flagged for sins of players in the past.
Right.
Guys coming off of, guys have been flagged for, especially with knee injuries early on or whatnot. So it's just like, I see that. And I've seen him mocked in this area too. So him going to the Bucks, not surprised by that at all. Got to talk about you guys. You guys go get Omar Cooper at wide receiver, I believe, from Indiana. So again, I think in your dream scenario you mentioned in the previous episode, you wanted to go, was it edge, offensive lineman, wide receiver? Or in that order, or
This is correct.
Yes, there we go.
It's edge, it's wide receiver, and then it's guard at 33.
Yeah, there we go.
That's definitely where we want to go. This is the only, if you moved, you may not want to be watching the draft with me. If you move out from 2 and go further away than 6, if you get out of Big 6 territory, your wall probably has a fist in it, man. I'm sorry, I don't know how else to say that. But you just stay at 2 and take Reese. It's that easy. 33, take one of the guards that's left. It's that easy. This is the only one I could see getting a little bit cute with, especially if the board is the way it is. Again, we've talked about 3 receivers already. Cooper goes here in this scenario, but you still have Boston. You still have Concepcion left on the board. And I think in this scenario, he actually has Boston going 6 out of 6. I think maybe 5 out of 6, but he has Boston and Concepcion going back to back, doesn't he?
He had him going. Boston goes 23 to the Eagles. But mind you, he's coming off injury too.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Frank Reich loves his gigantor. He's drafted
Megatrons.
he's drafted high receivers 8 times in his career. 7 have been 6'2" or taller.
Right.
He definitely doesn't like going below 6 foot. That would presumably eliminate. Now again, he's only OC, he's not the head coach, but that would presumably eliminate Lemon and Concepcion at 5'11". Cooper's at 6 foot. That's getting close for Reich's liking. But again, we're not looking for a 1A here. We're looking for a compliment to Wilson. And Cooper to me gives me the same vibe as Chris Godwin. We're almost a decade ago. But I watched Chris Godwin at Penn State, and then he was barely I know you were, and he was barely cracking top 100s on some boards. He ends up going in the 3rd round. And I am screaming. I'm like, this guy is dominating everybody in a major conference. He is clearly the best guy on the field. What are we doing? And you watch Cooper, and it's the same thing. I mean, you saw it this year again.
Big Ten. He had big numbers.
He's just doing things out there that the other 21 guys are not doing in terms of decision making, in terms of athleticism, in terms of route running, in terms of everything. And yes, he's been a late riser up the board, and yes, we're all on the Hoosier hype train. But the eyes don't lie at some point. You just go, okay, that guy is really good. And so I think Denzel Boston is more of a Reich fit. I know he's coming off the injury, but the dude is a bust. I mean, he's 6'4", built like a wrestler. So I could see them getting cute and trying to move down if Boston's really their target. But I think you could just play this safe here. Cooper, again, I think is probably 2nd or 3rd on Frank Reich's wish list if I had to take a guess, just knowing what kind of receiver he likes. And again, I also think Cooper, when you look at, you're looking for, in reality, in order for this to be a successful grab, you're looking for somebody who is worse than Garrett Wilson, better than Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah, Robin.
That's a pretty large pool. It's hard to miss that target.
I agree.
Better than A.D. Mitchell, worse than Garrett Wilson. All 6 of these guys are that. So just grab one of them. You've checked your second check off your box. And again, we'll get to 33 at the end of this thing. But to me, the Jets right now, if you look at a depth chart, have 19 out of 22 starters. I would be okay going in with. Sherwood was one of the problems. We checked that off with Reese. Mitchell, I love him. I think he's a great 3, but he's not a 2. No. So this checks off the second problem. And then literally our backup center is currently starting as one of our 5 offensive linemen. We need to fix that. That would be your 3rd box. Why are we making this so hard if we're Jet fans? I still don't understand why this is not just the most obvious draft ever.
They will though, because it's our front offices. This is what happens. But like the video. I think you're hitting backflips if Tate slips down there.
If Tate falls, and I've seen drafts where Lemon falls past. And again, only because it's Frank Reich there, I still think it's dumb, but I kind of understand it. If Tate is still on the board at 17, if we let him come and go, again, my apologies in advance to your wall.
We're watching it at your house.
My apologies in advance to my wall. I don't care what we could be watching it in China. My apologies to the Great Wall. I'll go through anything if Carnell Tate comes and goes and it's not taken by the. I will pull a full the movie draft day, fly from New York to Cleveland in under 45 minutes, and put the pick in myself. Carnell Tate, no matter what or whatever it says in his pocket throughout that whole movie. I don't care. That has to be. It has to be a receiver at some point, even if you trade down or trade up to get there. But if you find yourself on the board with Carnell Tate there, he is, because of the fit with Wilson, because of the fit with Reich, he's Carnell freaking Tate. Yeah. You have to do that. He's a no-brainer. If you somehow trade down and find yourself with Boston on the board, he's a no-brainer. You can make the argument Cooper and Boston a little bit of a stretch at 16, but I don't care. Again, the whole point of this draft for the Jets is fits. Fits with Aaron Glenn, fits with the new coordinators, fits with the 19 out of 22 guys I just talked about who are already in place. Reese, any of the bigger receivers, and one of the 2 non-Penn State guards, because he's not going to be there at 33. I would take him in a heartbeat, but he's not going to be there. So either Pregnone or the kid from Texas A&M at 33, and let's go drinking. I don't know what else to tell you. Like there it is. That's the draft. It's that easy.
No, you're looking for your Robin. We were in the same position, America's team last year. We had CD and IKEA workers. I mean that's what it was. Tolbert, Jalen Palooza was at the
shout out Jalen Brooks,
Jalen Brooks and Jalen Tolbert and Jalen Brunson. Again, it's like you are looking for that Robin. Mitchell is a solid number 3. I love him in the slot or whatnot. Mm-hmm. But no, teams aren't rolling off the bus scared to death about Adonis Mitchell. They're just not. You guys get yourself a Tate, or you guys, in a perfect world, I think if you guys get Tyson, if Tyson falls to you guys, and all the medicals check off, that'd be good as well or whatnot. Right. But Cooper's solid. Your number 2 receiver just needs to be solid.
Right.
We're spoiled. We're trying to ruin it with our contract negotiation tactics. Thank you, Jerry. With George Pickens or whatnot. But your number 2 has to be. The defensive coordinator has to be thinking about him or whatnot. That's a mark of a competent offense.
And this is a number 2 on a team where Breece Hall looked great last year. Mm-hmm. This is a number 2 on a team where Mason Taylor made strides as a rookie tight end last year.
He's your number 2 right now.
And is currently. And is effectively our de facto number 2. This is a team that is getting a major upgrade at quarterback. Now, Geno Smith is not the long-term answer, but it's still a major upgrade over Brady Cook and company launching to the moon last year. So again, you're not Miami here. You're not adding a receiver who you'd be adding a guy to just a bunch of, test pilot dummies, and who's not going to be able to even get the ball. This is a guy who's coming into at least a semi-competent offense. And again, I'm not saying the Jets are going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying the Jets are even going to be good. I mean, they still have some things to fix on the defense. They still way too much believe in some of these Aaron Glenn secondary guys. Brandon Stevens, I love you, man. You're not the long-term answer over there.
That's your Christmas jersey. That or Ty Simpson. It's one or the other.
Can't wait, Bart Scott. Can't wait. But it's a much better offense than it gets credit for sometimes, especially once it has somebody who can at least make competent decisions back there, especially when they finally get a turnover and buy an extra set of possessions along the way here and there. And you're absolutely right. The fit for what they need, which is guys who just keep taking, because that's what Aaron Glenn is all about. Aaron Glenn is about those marginal steps. When you look at the guys he brought in, he's not looking to go from 3-14 to 14-3. He's not one of those guys. It's not one of those franchises. They just don't do that either. So Cooper is a perfect example of what would be a marginal step forward in a world where, Isaiah Williams is currently wide receiver 3 on this team. Like, we can upgrade that. We definitely can upgrade that.
Absolutely. Like the video. We are zooming here on the pre-draft super show before we get to the big show. Not talking about the wrestler. In a couple of weeks when COWBOY returns. But let's continue here from 17 all the way to the end. Let's take it all the way home to 32. I mean, McNeil Warren, as we discussed, of course, going to the Vikings. Iolani from Penn State, he goes to Detroit. I mean, they want to pair somebody with Penny Sewell, and that makes complete sense.
He's a perfect Dan Campbell guy, and then with McNeil Warren. I mean, Harrison Smith. I mean, dangerously close to actually being the first guy to ever defeat Father Time, but it had to happen eventually.
Absolutely, and Freeling. This makes more sense in this range. Him going to number 6 to the Browns. I'm just gonna. I said it earlier. I'm gonna say it again. Yeah. No, he's not correct. A top 10 prospect.
That's the correct answer. Is the correct answer.
He's just not. What is no? Rest in peace, Alex Trebek. Like, what is no? Like, no. Like, this is where he belongs in the teens. Absolutely. Back to America's team again. Us getting Messidor here again.
This is a fun draft for you guys. You've done well, my friend.
I am loving this. I'm loving this. Those Pat Blue ribbons. I still got them in my fridge. They're ice cold at this point. Ooh. Yes, sir. I'm cracking open the Pats. I'm cracking open the Pats and getting a sponsorship. Action. Come sponsor the show. I'm cracking open a tall boy Pats. If we get Messidor here and didn't have to do a damn thing. Because we talked about the Big Six. The next wave of borderline first-round draft picks, the last 5 to 7 remaining first-round draft picks, Messidor's in there. Messidor's in there. He's a first or a high second, wherever you put it. We didn't do much to address pass rush outside of Gary. Yes. Pass rush. At some point, you got to get pass rushers. And as currently constructed, Gary is our best pass rusher. Gary, and I think Charles Haley's coming out of retirement. You know what I mean? So, Dallas needs pass rushers. Messidor. Listen, Bain was kicking ass over there in Miami. This guy was kicking ass over there in Miami too. I mean, ask Ohio State what it was like to block these guys for 4 quarters over at AT&T Stadium. It was a long night for Sayin over there. They're starting quarterback for Ohio State. So us getting him at 20 and not having to go a damn place, do anything, trade up or trade down, I'm hitting backflips. This is a perfect day one for America's team. If we walk away with Caleb Downs and Messidor in round 1, come on, sign me up, baby.
And at some point, haters have to take that, right? Because if you're going to be sitting there and saying there are problems with Bain and Bain is being overrated, well, then guess what? This guy's being underrated, right? Because the two of them together got the job done. And if you're going to make the counter argument, which is, well, Bain was protecting him, the attention was on Bain. Listen, Gary gets his. He's going to be playing across from a guy who knows what he's doing. He's going to be the second option when it comes to pass rushing in Dallas. So he's filling right into a spot he's very comfortable with.
Agreed.
This is a fantastic fit. Again, not just a great player. It's a great fit, both for need and for who else is on that defense right now. I love this.
And what's getting held against him is the same thing's getting held against a bunch of guys. Now it's the old guys.
Right.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, because you took a couple extra COVID years and now you're coming into the league at 24, 25. Well, he's old now. Like, listen, it's all, again, shout again to Brian Broaddus, the GOAT, the Godfather right there. We got to do a crossover with Crown Gold.
I'm ready.
We absolutely need to. But I get it. I get it. The old guys, like he's 25. It's all about the rookie contract, especially when you've got a quarterback ready to go right now. If you feel like you've got a ready-made quarterback to have you in playoff contention or whatnot, you should be focused on the 4-year window versus the 7 to 10-year window, because the average career is 3 years anyway or whatnot.
Right.
Like, so if a guy comes in and he's ready-made, he's 25 or 26 or whatever at corner, linebacker, running back, hopefully not running back, pass rusher or whatnot. Yes.
That should be a good thing.
That should be a good thing.
Correct.
That means day one, I can plop this guy in and he knows what the hell he's doing. Listen, you beat that fat guy, go sack the quarterback, or I'm sorry, at best, go pressure that guy. Make him turn the ball over or make him run into the arms of your of Gary, who his average sack time was damn near 5 seconds. He doesn't rush and get sacks. He just waits and benefits from the real pass rusher on the other side. He did it in Green Bay when Micah got there. He was doing it in Green Bay before Micah got there. So this is tailor-made here. I love it. TJ Parker, the Clemson guy, we were just talking about it. He goes to the Steelers.
That's the one team I believe. If the Steelers think one of these Clemson guys is good, I'll buy it. I don't like it, but it's the Steelers, so I have to accept it as gospel.
They go back to back though, Clemson, with Blake Miller, the very next pick.
In this scenario, Blake Miller's a bust. Not because I believe that, but because there's no way 2 Clemson guys are going back to back, and the league is getting away with that. I don't believe in these Clemson. Someone has to be. Someone has to be the bust.
Someone will be a bust here. And as we discussed earlier, Boston goes to the Eagles. Now, the AJ Brown trade is going to happen.
Yeah, this feels like the NFL told the Eagles to do this so they can win.
Schrager,
they can win the back page.
Where's my camera? It's the only camera. Schrager knows something that we all know. Like, bro, is the AJ Brown trade coming a little earlier than expected? Is it going to come right before this pick? And it's just like, the Eagles, they kind of have a void there, wide receiver. They're taking Denzel Boston from Washington. So this is the AJ Brown replacement, 1,000%. Concepcion, another wide receiver, he goes to the Browns or whatnot. Again, I want Shedeur Sanders. I want him to be great. The NAACP wants him to be great. The Black Caucus wants him to be great. Tyler Perry, Beauty and Black, great show on on Netflix. Everybody with melanin, including you, we all want Shedeur to beat Shedeur or whatnot. So why not give him a weapon?
Now again, we saw Shedeur have some crafty players there in Colorado, with Hunter being, Travis Hunter being the most obvious example. Casey Concepcion worries me that you could really go down the Percy Harvin bag of tricks train pretty well. And for a team that doesn't have an offensive line, and then I'm sorry, if you put Concepcion in an end around and you're relying on Jerry Jeudy to be blocking for him, it's going to be a 7-yard loss every time. More
than that.
I question the fit here for a team. A team needs to be ready for Casey Concepcion. It's why he is the one of the 6 who worries me for the Jets. Aside from the fact he's not a Frank Reich build. I would love to see him. I mean, the fact that he's going in the late 20s means, statistically speaking, he should be going to a good team, right? Like, he's only getting picked a few picks before the guys who went to the conference championships. I would love to see him go basically anywhere else on earth with these last 8 picks. Even put him on the 49ers. They definitely love their gadget plays there.
They do. But again, they got Evans and they got Christian Kirk and whatnot. They made moves, as we discussed in the previous episode.
Well, I don't
think they're going to
I don't think they are either, but I still think Concepcion can be used in so many ways, especially early on, that I don't think you can fault. Like, if you literally just everyone had to roll a dice before they pick, and if they rolled a 6, they had to draft Casey Concepcion, like we were playing Concepcion roulette, he wouldn't be a bad fit anywhere in terms of what he can do on the field. He could be a bad fit in terms of an offense that either doesn't know how to use him or can't use him. But if a team is ready-made already, Concepcion can find a way to contribute right away, I think.
Agree. Like the video. Let's round this out, because I want to get to a final chat before we get up out of here. 49ers go offensive line with Lomu from University of, let me make sure I got it. Yeah, Utah, right? He goes there to bolster their offensive line for Brock Montana, everybody's favorite quarterback. McDonald from Ohio State, interior defensive lineman. That's such a Buffalo pick. You know what I mean? 100% Buffalo pick there. Some shockers there at the very end, though, for Dylan Thieneman to go to 30. That's a shocker for me because I was hearing, especially after his combine, I was hearing top 15 for him. People were giving him first round grades, believe it or not.
And then again, this seems like Miami doesn't seem particularly like the one team that, I mean, I grant he at that point, if he, I mean, 31 teams are getting busy signals because they're all trying to call Miami at the same time if he's on the board at 30. So again, I think this is Peter Schrager saying someone is going to come up at 30 and take Miami.
Yeah.
But if you're a Dolphins fan and you leave this draft knowing that you need to literally build from the inside out, the whole reason your team couldn't get those last couple ounces out of Tua is because about 2 or 3 free agencies ago, it ended and everyone was like, that's one of the worst offensive and defensive lines we've ever seen. The fact that you're leaving this first round with a wide receiver and a safety gives me great pause as a Dolphin fan that we have not learned our lesson yet. And, you know, that Malik Willis should probably be buying a little bit more insurance than he currently has.
Savage.
Colton Hood going to the Chiefs, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That's the ticket. That's the stuff right
for
there.
sure. He's a solid.
That's why you took Tyson at 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you could look into the future and go, I'll take Colton Hood later.
Yeah. Like if this does hold true or whatnot, the Chiefs, they solved 2 issues there. They gave Patty Mahomes a big target, and their secondary got some much-needed reinforcements because they don't have anybody back there right now. Like, they're very depleted back there. And, of course, and Jordan Price from Notre Dame ending things with that. Listen, if it was up to John Schneider, he'd pick 10 running backs. He would. Brian Broaddus also said that. Like, he'd have 10 picks, all 10 of them would be running backs. So that totally makes sense. Totally. So, once again, like the video. Once again, Peter Schrager. Dom DeMarco's for Peter Schrager. Dom DeMarco.
This is an incredible mock draft.
Well done, mock draft.
Fantastic.
We're both very happy with your work and what you did for
we're
us.
not. But again, we're not. Obviously, you know, we've done the show together for whatever 3-4 years. You know what we're about, son. Like
Yahtzee.
We're a Jet fan and a Cowboy fan who come together to complain about life for an hour. And thank you for watching. We appreciate it.
Of course.
But we are able to take our fandom out and just be good old fashioned sports talkers for a couple minutes.
That's the point.
And this is a good mock draft.
Yes.
This is rooted in logic. And like I said, even the fits that don't necessarily make sense, some of these guys don't make sense. Some of these guys have unicorn, tendencies to them. You got to put them somewhere. You can't just say, well, Sadiq is generational.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to put him somewhere because I don't know how to score that. Well, you got to put them somewhere. So you put them in a logical spot and, you find them about right. So I feel like, again, not just in terms of some really good fits here, but also some really good stabs at, well, that's going to be about where they go. So that way I don't lose the integrity of the mock draft. Because if you just keep going fit, well, now it's the 3rd round and you're like, well, I have a bunch of really good tight ends left. I guess we're going to do 12 tight ends in a row. We know that's not how the NFL works. Eventually, someone gets on the phone or somebody just says the value's too good here. And I think Peter Schrager kind of embodies that, and it's a really good mock draft by him here.
Absolutely. And so we won't be together until after. We'll be on the phone, of course, text each other, or we'll link up. If I'm not working in West Bubblefuck somewhere with the Wizards or whatnot, we'll link up.
I'll come out. I'm sure there's a Motel 6 wall I can punch through when Ty Simpson goes 16.
There has to be. But real quick, abbreviated version of rapid fire. Get the merch. I have Kilroy's hoodie, by the way. Just got delivered or whatnot. Name a player that in rounds 2 through 7 you would hit a backflip for the Jets to get. I got my Cowboy. He's lined up, and I actually talked about him a couple episodes ago. But who's one player that you absolutely draft crush? You want your team to draft?
So first of all, it's my favorite pick in this draft, and also I think we have to go nose tackle at the 4th pick we take anyway, because Peyton Page is not an NFL backup nose tackle behind Sweat. Mm-hmm. Dominique Orange is the name.
Oh, yeah. Big boy. That's a big boy. That's a big boy. Whoa.
With 33.5-inch arms to boot. This man just
big boy
eats space. And if you have him and Sweat rotating in there as the nose tackle on this new 3-4 defense, after you get your guard, your receiver, and Arvell Reese, look out. You've done that in the first 44 picks of the draft. Now we just start drafting quarterbacp. Now we just take Garrett Nussmeier 5 times and call it. Listen, if Ty Simpson's somehow still there at 103, yeah, cool. I'm not mad at you at that point. Throw that dart all you want. But those first 4 picks, I've been vehement about the 3. I've since joined and the 4th one has to be a defensive tackle for me to give it an A++. And I mean, there's one guy out of, I think it's out of Texas Tech. His name's Lee Hunter. It's out of one of the Texas schools. And he's been described as having the body of, quote, an orange with matchstick arms, which I love that description.
Sounds like something out of Adventure Time.
But when you look at that as the bar for second round nose tackles, and then you have this guy who looks like he could literally run through a bus, Dominic Orange. I don't know why he's not getting more press, and if he starts to get some hype, I'd take him at 33 and then work my way up to get that guard if I need to, because the kid out of Iowa, Dunkers, is actually growing on me as well as the 5th guard in this draft. But Dominic Orange to me is the absolute star of this draft.
That guy rolls out of bed and eats tomahawk steaks. That's all. That's all.
He rolls out of bed and tomahawk steaks fall off. The fridge falls over. I mean, this is a massive human being and he's freakishly athletic. I love that kid.
Tenderism. Mine to bring it on home. I talked about him numerous times in episodes past. Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob Rodriguez. I'm just gonna keep saying his name. Jacob Rodriguez was born to be a Dallas Cowboy. First of all, the mustache. 10 out of 10 on the mustache. Straight out of a barbershop in the 1920s. Woo! Singing quartet and everything from Family Guy. Jacob Rodriguez. That's your middle linebacker for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
He's the second coming of Dat Wynn. He's the second coming of Teddy Bruschi. He's the second coming of Dexter Coakley. I'm deep diving here, baby.
Deep dive.
Like second coming of Ken Norton Jr. Like you want to talk
in
about
the pool at this
you
point.
want to talk about a guy that was just born to be Texas native. You know what I mean? Was a freaking Texas Tech alum. He won every single linebacker and defensive award you can think of.
I mean, they love him for a reason.
And again, former quarterback. So the guy sees the field like the guy he's trying to take the ball from or whatnot. He is tailor-made, and you were talking about moving jerseys. You're talking Zeke level jersey sales if he's the pick at some point with the Cowboys.
And you nailed it with the quarterback stat there, because honestly, if you get him down and the kid from Miami in the first 45, 50 picks,
oh man,
the average IQ, the average SAT score, whatever comical metric you want to put in here, goes up by 300%. I mean,
yes.
for a team that has
DeMarcos,
famously
Lord.
knocked itself out of the playoffs in some comically boneheaded ways in the Tony Romo era, you need to be smart about what you're doing, and those are good kids, those are high IQ kids, and those are kids who can make plays right away. And fantastic draft if you can find him on day 2 for sure.
And one more, Sean Lee too. Sean Lee, he's Sean Lee with a mustache.
Oh,
How could I forget? Sean Lee with a mustache.
I want that written on my tombstone one day.
Chop City's gonna love that. Sturch is gonna love that. He's Sean Lee with a mustache. Jacob Rodriguez, come on down. If this guy is if the Cowboys land this guy in round 2 or end of round 1 on a trade back, Mongo. I'm gonna come. I'll be at the Super Draft. I'll have his jersey. You'll be like, yo, how did you get that? So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You will stop patching that wall.
Yes, literally, literally. Well, round of applause. I got so excited. Hit the daggone stand. Round of applause. Yes, thank you guys for tuning in yet again. Again, this was the pre-draft Super Show. We got the big Super Show. Kilroy will be back. We'll be either here or Bravery, one or the other. We don't know. Wizards schedule permitting and whatnot. We'll be back for the Super Show in a couple of weeks. Stellar 19 Studios, thank you so much for holding your boy down, Sturch. We love you. And we're going to sign off just like this. That's the belt. Sting had this one, baby. Oh. It's the heavy one. This is the heavy one. It's the real one. I couldn't stop touching it. Sting had this one, baby. NWO Sting, psych. Black and white Sting had this one, baby. Yeah, baby. So that's Mongolicious. He's got the beard. I'm U-Goboy. I got the beard and the merch. Dave Sturchio is somewhere with an amazing beard. He got the guns out today, too. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the U-Goboy podcast. Sports talk with me and Mongo. We love you guys. Come on back. We'll be waiting for you. Peace. Yahtzee. Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag. I need more. Hey, 3P Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam. You go, boy. Yahtzee. It's your boy, U-Goboy, and my friends at New York Posse. They're gonna hook you up with some official gear. The Knicks are hotter than ever, and they're going to get you right with some official snapbacks, beanies, official gear, official like tissue, baby. Hit that promo code below, 2024. Get 20% off on all New York Posse gear. Hit the link below, and they're going to get you right. It's your boy, U-Goboy. Yahtzee.